Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. This is Bavarian Guys, a German automobile, more Porsche and BMW focused YouTube channel. Apologize for the long delay. It's been quite a while. Have not made a video in quite some time. I think the last video we made was talking about the E90 M3, my E90 M3, and you know the modifications that have been done to that car. And that car has really just come such a long way ever since we last talked. I mean, I got the new wheels and the full LCI conversion, so we'll get into that. But for today, I want to talk about this beaut right here in front of me. This is a 2013 BMW E92 M3 Lime Rock Park Edition, ladies and gentlemen. This is a Lime Rock Park Edition. 200 of these were made in fire orange, only for the 2013 model year. So the BMW E9X M3, the E90 four-door sedan, E92 two-door coupe, and E93 convertible was manufactured from 2008 to 2013. However, the E90 sedan, however, was only manufactured from 2008 to 2011. So that was cut a little bit short. So 2012 and 2013, there were no four doors available, unfortunately. At least we were able to get a four-door version because obviously the E46 didn't even have a four-door version available in an M3. Obviously, you could get the ZHP. But anyway, not only Lime Rock Park Editions, right? Of course, they only made 200 of them, but this exact spec is even more rare in itself, as we'll get into. But a 4-liter V8 that revs out to 8,400 RPM. This thing is just amazing. Like, I don't think that, like, I just don't understand. Like, listen, I understand like the G8X and F8X they're fast cars. Don't get me wrong, but people just will never understand how special the S65 is. They just don't. They just don't. I mean, the high revving nature. I mean, it's 414 horsepower from stock. And if you do the Alpine MSS tune, you bump up your red line to 86. So you get 8,600 RPM. And all that matters is like the power band, like where the max power band is. I mean, I guess like redlining, like actually you could lose horsepower if you go over like the max power band or whatever. But like just bragging and saying, hey, I have an 8,600 RPM V8, like you get a little bragging rights there. But the red line increases to 8,600 RPM. You get a little boost in horsepower. It's just more for emissions related stuff. This car does have an Eisenman race exhaust on it. Just that's it, nothing else, just an Eisenman race exhaust. So it sounds pretty good. It's not that loud, but you know, it sounds pretty good. You know, it's loud enough for, you know, it's loud enough for some people's liking. It's mostly stock. We'll get into that a little bit later, except for the exhaust. But 200 of these made, the Lime Rock Park Edition. So it was in honor of the Lime Rock racetrack. So BMW, the final run of the E92 M3 in 2013, I guess it was late 2012 for the 2013 model year, they did come out with 200 Lime Rock Park Editions. And 50 of them were in 6-speed manual, and the other 150 were in the DCT. So that's another thing too with these cars. I mean, both transmissions are really great. For me, I've always been a manual guy. I have a 6-speed manual E90. I think that's the way to go. I've driven quite a few DCTs. I've driven a lot of them, both stock and GTS tuned DCTs. And I love both. I have to say, I really love both. I think both are really great gearboxes. I think really you can just go either or. I mean, for me, in terms of fun cars, I do have a daily driver, but in terms of fun cars, I think for me, if I have to have a weekend car or like a second car, it has to be a manual. If my daily driver is going to be an auto. And that's just the thing, you know, so I think that's why I ended up going with the 6-speed. I think the 6-speed probably is the way to go with this car. Again, I can hear both sides of the argument. I just think with, you know, with a 8,400 RPM V8, I just, you know, high revving V8, I just think it's just, oh man, the manual, this, I mean, it's just like, it's just so, the prestige, just amazing. I mean, a high revving V8 with a 6-speed manual transmission. I just don't think there's anything like it. And again, the ECT is great. It's not like an SMG that's slow shifting and takes forever to shift and clunky and unreliable. The DCT is reliable, it shifts really fast, and it's really engaging. It doesn't operate like a other automatic. Like when you're at a light, you let off the brake, it's not going to creep forward. You know, it's not like it. It's a dual clutch transmission. It's not really an automatic. Obviously, it doesn't have a third pedal, but it doesn't operate like a typical automatic. In the manual mode, like it basically feels like you're driving a manual sometimes in that mode, especially if you GTS tune your DCT, which a lot of enthusiasts have done. But this car is equipped with the 6-speed manual. So this is one of 50 in a manual gearbox, which again, as I talked about earlier, this car is rare, as we'll get into. And this is, you know, one of the things that makes it rare. So it's not only one of 200, now it's one of 50. So this is a 6-speed manual E92 M3 Lime Rock Park Edition. So what makes Lime Rock Park Edition special is obviously the fire orange paint. Now the E92 M3 GTS, it was only made available in Europe, and that was a full-on, basically like an E92 M3 race car. was featured in the fire orange paint. There are a few individual E92s, fire orange and fire orange. I don't know the exact production numbers. I believe there's like 3 E90 M3s in fire orange, which is kind of strange on the 4-door. I don't really like it as much on the 4-door. I think the 2-door, I'm a 4-door guy. I'm an E90 guy. Obviously, I own an E90 M3. I think fire orange, I'm going with E92 on that. I think it looks much better on the 2-door, especially with the carbon roof and everything. Now, EEG has done an extensive amount of research into Lime Park editions. But, you know, obviously they're just enthusiast auto group. I mean, that's basically what they, I mean, not only is their name the enthusiast auto group, but they're enthusiast auto group. You know, they have done so much research into, especially Lime Rocks. I mean, they really have. So this is I believe it's a November of 2012 production. So I don't know where that lays, as far as it's September of 2012 production. I don't know where that goes along, as terms of the Lime Park edition, like, you know, the production numbers, but, you know, I'd say it's somewhat in the middle, obviously. But some of these, again, you get the fire orange paint. There's no increase of horsepower. I think that's kind of like a misconception. There is no bump in horsepower, so it's still 414 horsepower. And it's basically just a cosmetic package. It's just like it's a really cool package, you know, and, you know, it's really nice. Obviously, all these come standard with ZCP competition package. All of them are all ZCPs, so you get the ZCP wheels. Some of them are in silver, some of them are in black. This happens to be black. Again, I don't know the exact production numbers in terms of the wheels. I'm sure that has, I'm sure that definitely, you know, I'm sure there's more research out there depending on like which ones are in silver, which ones are in black. I'd like to know the production numbers on that. One thing about this car, it still does have the amber reflectors on the side, which is usually like one of those things you delete immediately. But one thing about this car is it really doesn't show that much, obviously, since it's orange. Obviously on my car, I did get rid of those on mine just because they look terrible. And obviously it does have the gloss black grills from factory. They come in chrome. And I think with this car and really any E9X or really just any M3, you know, past E46, I think you just have to go with the black grill. I just think it looks so good. Obviously you get the carbon fiber splitters. That is part of the ZCP package, competition package. Again, back in the E90, E92 generation, no increase of horsepower with the ZCP package. That didn't come until the F8X generation. We got a bump in horsepower for a ZCP competition package. But I want to go into this, right? So obviously a lot of the E92, really almost all of them, all have the chrome side reflectors. This has the gloss black. And also I added that to my E90. My 08 E90 has, well, it came with chrome. I put the black ones in. It looks so much better, especially with the fire orange. And obviously you got this baby right here, carbon fiber roof. I mean, this thing is immaculate. This car is ceramic coated, by the way. Just garage kept. Just such a queen. Such a awesome car. You know, just the roof is just immaculate. You see a lot of E92s. The carbon fiber roofs kind of tend to fade a little bit. Obviously, you do get this nice, beautiful carbon fiber spoiler. So just amazing. It's absolutely amazing. You can see the license plate there, kind of a cool customization. And just such a mint car. You can see the Eisenman race exhaust. So it has a little good tone to it, I'm not gonna lie. Has a pretty good tone to it. And this is what really makes this car, I mean, again, we mentioned the manual, but here you go. I think any enthusiast now is just gonna be freaking out. So not only is this a Lime Park edition, a 6-speed manual Lime Park edition, but now you're seeing it as a single hump. Single hump meaning that it has no navigation infotainment. Again, all you get is that little screen right here, which is like usually like the base model E9X 328s. Most of them have it. You don't really ever see it in an M3. Most of them were equipped with navigation. This is a single hump E92 M3s, ZCP competition package, Lime Park edition. And not only that, you also get the cloth seats. You get the cloth seats, just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. You never see speed cloth, you never see it. Really, really rare. And just beautiful. You still got the original ZCP wheel. That's another part of the ZCP competition package. The ZCPs got the Alcantara steering wheel. This one still feels really good. As we step inside the interior here, obviously got the floor mats, the M3 floor mats, but with orange stitching around them, which is a nice little touch. That is not OEM, but it's a nice little touch. It looks OE. It looks OE plus. As we look at the the dash here, 25,000 miles on this beauty right here. Oh man, this thing is just so mint, so clean. As you can see down here, Lime Rock Park Edition, one of 200. This has to be the rarest, one of the rarest. I mean, this is the rarest spec of Lime Rock Park Edition. So from my research, EEG, I don't think has ever had a single hump Lime Rock ever. And from my understanding, there's only, so I believe the owner of Turner Motorsport, he had a single hump Lime Rock. I believe I saw that for sale. And then I've heard of one other one, actually another one as well, that happened. It was a single hump Lime Rock that had factory Harman Kardon, which is impossible. This is impossible to get the Harman Kardon premium sound system if you have a single hump. Impossible. And this guy was able to do it. Now this car does have the hi-fi system, but it was, previous owner was severe, like just massive overhaul. So this thing has a huge amp in the back. It's probably even better than OE premium sound of the E9 next generation. It's probably even above that. But this gentleman with this E92 M3 Lime Rock Edition single hump was able to get factory OEM premium sound. I don't know how he's able to do it, but look it up. It's out there. And then also I'm aware of one that's actually, this exact car was Speedcloth, but with DCT. So it's a single hump Speedcloth DCT. And actually a lot, if you do some research, most of the single humps are 6-speeds. Pretty rare to see one in DCT. But this happens to be a 6-speed manual. I mean, this thing is just, it's sitting pretty, it's just 25,000 miles, clean as can be. This thing is just a beast. So obviously no comfort access on this car. So you do have to stick the key in the slot there. But that doesn't even matter. I mean, mine does happen to have comfort access, but it's fully loaded with navigation and everything like that. But this is just such an enthusiast car. It does have the OEM E9X M3 shift knob. So that's all original and everything, but this car is just, it's babied, man. I just can't believe the spec. I just cannot believe the spec. This spec is just masterful. It's really just masterful. It's beyond mint. It's really just beyond mint. As we look over here, this will be a separate video. This is a 997.2 GT3 with 10,000 miles on it. So yeah, pretty cool. We'll do a video on that, but this thing's immaculate. It really is. Again, you don't really ever, I don't think I've ever seen one out on the road ever. I think I've seen one at a car show once, but these things are pretty rare. And obviously this exact spec is pretty rare as I've gone into, but just masterful. I mean, the black wheels, the black CCP wheels, carbon fiber splitters, just amazing, absolutely amazing. So guys, thanks so much for watching this video. More content to come. I'd like to do a drive of this car. I mean, it's not that loud. I mean, it sounds pretty good, but I like to get it side by side with my E90 that's been fully LCI swapped with 359 wheels. So guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm Luke, and I'll talk to you later.